Yo, what's going on YouTube? How you guys doing? We're doing another gameplay review today. This game is kind of interesting because I didn't really get a lot of info beforehand, and the video kind of cuts off before it goes to the end screen, so I don't know like what rank or anything any of this is. So we're just gonna go into this just unranked. I'm not gonna give this guy any buffer as far as like, hey man, you're low rank, so it's okay, don't worry about it, you know, or like, oh, you're high rank, so you should know better. I'm just kind of going to go into this and just kind of call it as I see it and point out every mistake I see, and I guess we'll just go with that. But anyway, this is a Billy game on the Thompson house. Apparently this is someone that was a Huntress main that turned to Billy, so I guess they're trying to learn Billy, which is kind of difficult as like the first time. Before we do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the build. This is actually my exact build. This is to a T the exact build that I run on my Hillbilly, which is actually kind of interesting. I will say though that this build is really it's good, but this build is really risky because if you notice, not a single one of these perks, that's a tracking perk, that's a tracking perk, that's a tracking perk, that's a chase perk. Not a single one of these perks is a game slowdown perk. There's no like pop goes the weasel, there's no ruin, there's no like, there's nothing to like regress gens or really like help slow down the game as far as perks go. So this build requires you to basically play really well. The whole idea behind a build like this is you want to find survivors really quickly using these three build using like those three perks will help you find people super quickly, and then this perk will help you catch them quickly. So that's the idea. Find them quickly, catch them quickly. The whole idea behind this build is they can't get gens done if they're constantly unhooking their teammates, you know? So it really requires you to play like super well. So we'll see how this goes. You spawn in and you immediately start chainsawing this way, which is probably smart. We'll see when your whispers clicks on. There you go. Okay, they're on this gen for sure. They're definitely on this gen. FYI, that's like a thing. Like, if you guys haven't seen my whispers video, I'll actually link it beneath the beneath the video. But if you can like pay attention to like the exact second that whispers clicks on, like it just did, that means that they're 32 meters in front of you somewhere. And this gen is conveniently round about 32 meters. What's the little squiggly? It's round about 32 meters right there. So they're definitely on that gen. FYI, that's a big thing with whispers. It's super good early game, if you guys don't already know. I mean, you probably seem to know. Okay, you see him here. You're going to do a little moonwalk. Good, good, good. That was smart. Oh, okay. They played it really badly. Can you get this chainsaw? Nice. Good, 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 good. You should be slugging here. Slug. Yeah, this is a lot of map pressure. Moonwalk again? You went way too far on that moonwalk. You went way too far, man. Okay, let me just see what you do here. You're not gonna be able to play this, I don't think. You're trying to bait him into leaving. You zoned him there, which is really smart. Are you gonna get this down? Nice. This is a really good start. All right, I will point out a mistake real quick, just because I like being really detailed. This moonwalk you did was like you want to come to like right here. Like right here, your red light is showing. Like you have a red light like right here. It's like all over the place, right? That he can see. So he'll see that and he'll start running the other way. You can start like moonwalking now. You will go way too far. Like you go the whole way up here and stop. And like at this point, he's at the pallet. Like he's literally at the pallet now. So like he's safe, you know? Like he's no longer in a place that's unsafe. He's at the pallet. He's just gonna drop the pallet. You never want to go this far with a moonwalk. That was way too far. Way too far. Knowing like when to cut back and start moonwalking is really big. But this is really good. Just to point out what he did here. Okay, this is the corner of the map, right? There's nothing out here. Like this direction is death. It's can I draw a skull and crossbones? I'll just draw a dead guy. That's death. Okay, this way is life. It's filled with pallets and windows. That's a window apparently. I can't draw. Okay, ignore me. But you know what I mean. This way is life, that way is death. There's nothing in that corner because, you know, they're in the corner of the map. So basically what you do is you rev your chainsaw here and you like walk towards them to kind of like scare them into like you're basically scaring them into staying right here. Like he is right here. He's behind this wall right here. And you're basically scaring him into staying right there. You're like, yo, you fucking sit right there, motherfucker, while I rev this chainsaw, you know? And he does. and then you break the pallet. So that so while you're breaking the pallet, he tries to leave, but he gets like no distance because you zoned him. That's like prime zoning. That's like really good stuff that you need to learn to do as any killer. But Billy does it especially good because of his chainsaw, but any killer can really do it. Like forcing them to a certain position and then breaking the pallet so that when they run away during the pallet break, they get less distance. That was perfectly executed. Perfectly. I just want to throw that out there. You down him. You should hook the first guy. You should definitely hook the first guy. Don't hook this guy. No. See, that's wrong because that other guy is fully recovered and he was literally right behind you. I don't think you'll get punished for this, but it's a really bad habit to get into doing that. Because, like, hypothetically, if the other dude was, like, hiding in a locker or had comm spirit or something, he could have, like, picked this guy up and then you would have lost a lot of that map pressure. We really should have got the other guy first. So, yeah. Hey, that's kind of funny. I actually know Alex that just messaged you. That's actually really weird. We have a mutual friend. That's odd. Anyway, you hook this guy. There's a dude right here. There's a David. You're revving your chainsaw a lot. That was like also kind of a bad place to moonwalk, but it's okay. You're getting lost now. You're kind of struggling to track him. Okay. Like, this is a bad place to rev your chainsaw. That was pointless. That was pointless. I'm just gonna, okay, you're like revving your chainsaw a lot, like a little bit too much. Like, for instance, here, like, what's the purpose of this? Like, he's making this pallet no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter what you do, he's making this pallet. So you like revving this chainsaw doesn't really do anything except for like make it so that you go through this cooldown phase of like 3 seconds. Like this like cooldown phase, it just kind of puts you into that phase. It's not really necessary to do. He runs away again, and like right here, like I don't know why you're revving. I guess you're just changing targets. Like generally speaking, you want to like run people down without your chainsaw out, and then when you get to like a position where you can maybe land a chainsaw is when you want to pull out your chainsaw. You completely gave up on the chase there. I'm not really sure what you're doing. You're kind of just like, it kind of just seems like you're just chainsawing around. Like you had a chase on this guy here, right? Like first off, you chainsawing here was already questionable. I was like, why? But then even here, like he just like walks away, but you can chase him. Like he's literally just up here somewhere. Like you can follow these scratch marks and chase him. It looks like you might have went to the left, but instead you like chainsaw to this gen for some reason. Like I'm not really sure what you're doing. And then even when you chainsaw to this gen, you see that ace, and instead of chasing, like right there, you see the ace. And instead of chasing him, you like leave. Like why are you leaving? Where are you going? You go over here. Whispers is off, so now you're just doing nothing. Like you're not. You had like 3 chases you could have taken, and you took none of them. Now you come back. You see the David. You see a different David. Bad time to chainsaw. You kind of slowed yourself down there for no reason. Good hit though. Good hit through the pallet. That was smart. That was actually a really good play there too. Good shit. Good shit. That was actually really good. Watch for Dead Hard. Good shit. Good shit. That was really well played. Just to talk about what you did. You got the hit through the pallet, and then you revved your chainsaw to like bait him into leaving. Because like a lot of times what'll happen is if you start revving your chainsaw, they'll just assume that you're going to break the pallet. So they'll try to get a head start. Kind of like a baseball player stealing a base, you know? They'll like start to get a head start to try to like get to the next pallet. So if you can bait that and then put away your chainsaw like you just did, then you can catch him in a bad position because you don't actually lose the distance from breaking the pallet, you know? And then you bait out Dead Hard, which is smart. You don't swing right away, which is also smart. You see Infectious Fright, so you're going to slug him. Although this is a little risky. This guy's going to get some distance, but I don't think this is a terrible play. He's also at not the greatest time. Wait, what are you doing? Well, you got head on, man. You done got head on. I don't really know what to say. I don't think you needed to change direction there. Like, and like even that, like, like okay, it seems nitpicky, but like you're just like you're like playing with your chainsaw a lot. Like, all right, you're gonna get head on again, but like after you're head on, like right here, like. You're like starting to chase him down. Like you should just hold W here. Just hold the W key. Like you pull out your chainsaw. Like keep in mind that when you have your chainsaw out, you go from 4.6 meters per second, which is your normal move speed, to 3.68. You lose like an entire meter per second of movement speed. Keep in mind that survivors, this guy right here is running 4.0 meters per second. So without your chainsaw out, you normally would be moving like 0.6 meters faster, right? But with your chainsaw out, you actually move basically like 0.4 meters slower. I mean, like a little bit less, but you know what I mean? Essentially like 0.3 meters slower per second. So like instead of gaining distance, you're like losing distance. And on top of that, you don't actually go anywhere with this. Like you kind of just pop it and then like stay in place and you like get slowed down. And like I don't know, like you're just like letting survivors get a lot of distance on you that you shouldn't. You go for a cheeky hit there. This is like the Huntress mind games. I can tell you're a Huntress player with the way you play this window for sure. Baited out the vault. That was really smart. Got the M1. The other guy's still down, but he's kind of far away. Yeah, it's probably smart to just hook this guy. The other dude's too far away for you to really worry about. They already healed him. There's not really much you can do about it. It's fine. All right, that's all three of them up there, I think. It looks like all three. It's hard to tell. Maybe it was only two of them. You got kind of cucked. Nope, there's only two of them. You got kind of cucked on that pallet break, but what are you going to do? You see a Steve and a David. They're both looping the same pallet. You'd love to see it when you're pressuring two survivors at once. Here's a quick. Yeah, I was going to say, do you chase the David or the Steve, though? All right, he gets the pallet drop. This is one of those ones where you can't really play it. Like, you can try, but you're probably just going to waste your time here. You should just break it, yeah. Like, that wasn't terrible of you to do, because I don't think it's, like... I don't think it's too bad to like test the survivor that you're going against, right? Just to see like how good or bad they are at playing pallets. Like for all you know, that guy could have been like really, really, really bad and he could have just vaulted without looking. So it's good to like test. Oh my God, the quality of this, by the way, is so grainy, dude. It like keeps like getting super grainy and then coming back. Like I can still tell what's going on, but it's hard. Right here, you should be able to get a hit. I don't like the way you played that. I don't like the way you played that at all. This is definitely an opportunity to get a hit. Okay, let me try to catch a moment where it's less grainy. Okay, this pallet right here is like, this is the shape of it, right? That's the shape of it. It has like this one really long side here and then one really short side here, okay? As a survivor, you should almost always be looping this big side because that's the side that's safe. Like you have like enough room so that even if the survivor like, or like even if the killer does mind games, usually you can still make it the whole way to the pallet and be safe. This other side over here, not safe. This one is tiny. It's tiny little. And you can definitely get a hit here. If someone tries to loop this side on you, you can get a hit. And he does. Like right here, you like you don't even really go for any mind games. Like right here, you can start moonwalking. You could look like you can pretend to moonwalk and then actually moonwalk this way. Like there's a lot of different mind games you can do here to like try to get a hit here, and you do none of them. Like you do none. And then he gets the pallet break. Which, that might not seem like a huge deal. And it wasn't a big deal because you downed him right afterwards. So in this particular situation, it wasn't a big deal. But those kind of things can be a big deal. Because hypothetically, had this guy not potatoed out right there and went down, he could have like continued looping you for like a very long time. That's like one of the few maze tiles in the game where you actually have a chance to get a hit. And if you don't get that hit, then it's kind of not good. You should be slugging here for sure. Good decision, good decision. You see this guy? He's gonna make that pallet. In that situation, like this is another pallet where you could have got a hit. It kind of seemed like you took a second before you pulled out this chainsaw. Like you should have already had your chainsaw out. Like it kind of takes you like a whole second to do it, and that little second is what let him get it. But even still, you should be able to look at this. I mean, you're not a super experienced Billy player, so I guess I don't really blame you, but you should be able to look at this situation right now and like think in your head, like, okay, he's going to get this pallet drop. So what you should do is you should moonwalk back to the other side and then curve it in. I don't know how much experience you have with curves, but if you're good with curving, you can like right now, you can bait him into dropping this pallet by just going the other way and then curving in. Because he's terrified. You're like on his ass with a chainsaw right now. This fucker is going to drop the pallet for sure. So you could have gotten a hit here. You could have maybe got a chainsaw. It would have required you to play it like perfectly, but you definitely could have done it. I don't even know how you hit the David and not the ace there. That was weird, but go to the other side, go to the other side. Oh, you could have had that one too. There's a lot of last second decision making that you can get here. Like for instance, right here, if you remember that this pallet was downed, like this dude's running. This is the exact same situation as the last pallet. Like, you should be able to look at the situation and be like, okay, there's no way I make it here in time, right? Like, there's no way I chainsaw. Like, there's literally a thrown pallet right here. He's gonna just vault it. There's no way I get this hit. So, like, you should be able to, like even a little bit before this, like, even like right here, you should, like, right here, you should be like, all right, immediately you should turn and go to the other side of the pallet. He's more than likely going to be scared and vaulting this pallet because no, everyone's fucking, it's a goddamn chainsaw. Everyone's fucking scared of it. You know what I mean? It's a fucking one shot down. So you probably could have got the hit on the other side here, but you didn't go for it. I mean, this is also okay. You might be able to still get it down here, but there's a lot of like opportunities like that you miss. That was just like I think you went for a curve and just didn't do it. I think that might just be something you need more practice on. You could have gotten that curve. Let me rewatch it and see exactly what you could have done better. Like, you definitely could have gotten this curve if you, like, what you should have did is you should have went a little bit more to the left. Like, you maybe should have been like over here and then tried to like curve in. But you still could have gotten this, and there's also tractor tech. I don't know if you know tractor tech, but you could have done tractor tech here to get a hit. There's like multiple ways you could have got a hit here, but you kind of went for like I think you went for like a curve and then just didn't really execute it that well. So yeah, like that kind of hurts. And then that last guy got picked up. That dude that's down might have decisive strikes. So like now your map pressure is kind of looking slim. This ace had head on. I think this is the guy that head on you, right? I think he's in that locker. He's in that locker for sure. I'm pretty sure he's in that locker. I'd be fairly positive that this ace is in that locker. I think he's the guy that hit on you earlier, right? I'd have to go back and check. I've been doing a lot of talking. Luckily, you did not get fucking decisive strike, because that would have been absolutely devastating to your pressure. And turns out he wasn't in that locker because he's right here. So never mind. What the hell am I talking about? I would have checked it though. I'm gonna be honest. I would have checked it for sure. You take him to shack. Let's see how you play this. You do the moonwalk, but he's ready for it. This ace seems like he's kind of good, so like mind games like that might not work. Here's what you want to do against someone like this ace. Let me see what you do. Okay, well, he left. Okay, if you get someone like this ace who like is good and clearly is good, what you want to do here is instead of like walking up and moonwalking, you want to fake it. Like, you want to fake it and make it look like you're doing this. So what you want to do is you want to walk up right here. You want to do a 180 so that you're facing the other way, and then actually moonwalk into the shack. So that way, like, it makes it look like you're going to meet him at the other side of the window, but then you actually come into the shack, and that'll catch him off guard, and you'll get a hit there very often if you do that. That's a very good play to do against good survivors. Although it's really tough to know because we didn't really chase this ace that much to really know like what level of a survivor he is. So I don't really like blame you for doing that, you know? We don't really know much about this guy to know exactly how to play against him yet. There's a really safe pallet here. You should be going for some kind of a mind game. That's not it, though. That's not it. I'll tell you a better mind game to do there. He's going to try to head on you, I think. Maybe? No. Where the fuck is he? Okay, I'll tell you a better... Like, I feel like you're going for, like, moonwalks, but you're doing them at terrible times. Like, your timing for moonwalks and, like, how you're trying to execute them is really bad. Like, here's the thing. When you're moonwalking, you got to keep in mind, like, where the survivor's position is when you're trying to do your fake, right? So like right here, a good thing to do would be right now, just immediately go to like the right and hide your red light, right? Like right now, the survivor is running that way, right? Like, okay, just like put yourself in the survivor's shoes, okay? He's running that way and his eyes are looking that way. Like he is looking for the red light here. He's like waiting to see your red light so that he can keep looping. Like he's trying to, like, you know, he's waiting to like confirm that you're still chasing him so that he knows which way to loop, right? So if you right now, if you immediately turn this way for like a second and then like moonwalk back this way, he won't see your red light, right? Like back to this guy, he like won't see your red light. He'll be like looking over there and there won't be any red light. You know what I mean? So he'll be like, oh, the dude must have went the other way, and then he's gonna run back this way because he's gonna assume that you're going this way. And then you'll be able to catch him. Like that works a lot of the time. If you'd have faked to the right and then went left, it would have worked. But instead you like I don't really know what you're trying to do here. You like walk the whole way up there. So you like show your red light. But like now you're like okay, like it's weird because like where you stopped, the survivor was like right here. Like his feet were probably like right here. So like, even if you did like moonwalk back to him, he probably would have just dropped this pallet. Like he would have been at the pallet and he probably would have just dropped it. You know what I mean? So even if that would have worked, it wouldn't have really worked. It would have just gotten the pallet thrown. You know what I mean? Which isn't, I mean, like getting the pallet thrown isn't a bad thing, but like you're definitely better off trying to get a hit there if you can. And I think you could have. You gotta do tractor tech. To do tractor tech, you have to. All right, I'll explain this again real quick. You're kind of just really struggling with chases. To do tractor tech, you actually have to walk onto this little lip now. There's like this little lip here. You have to walk up onto this lip and then fall onto the hay bales is how you do it. You actually like dodged the lip. You went right under the lip. You have to get up on top of the lip. You're just like giving up on this ace and going somewhere. Or actually, he dropped down here. You're not giving up on him. He's still here. But he's at a long wall jungle gym, which is tough. You tried to bait him into coming back to the window, but he might have just went to shack. No, he's just running around. You're bailing. This is why again, like builds like this are really risky, because if you don't play the chases like really well, like if you don't play the chases like borderline perfect or really well, then this happens, you know? All the gens get done and then you're like, fuck. And this is also why slugging is risky. Because like all the situations where you slug people, you could have had mat pressure if you hooked them, but you went for more mat pressure. It's a very high risk, high reward thing. You went for like stacked mat pressure instead of taking what you had, which wasn't a bad decision, but it's just when you don't execute it, it ends up biting you in the ass. Like even right here, you're doing it again. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't think you're wrong to do this. I think this is the correct play. But again, it's really risky. If you don't catch whoever it is that you're chasing really fast, then you end up with nothing because they'll heal that guy. There's a David there. That door is probably 99, and you seems like you know it. The good thing is you're hitting your chainsaws. That's good. Like your back revs, you're hitting your back revs, which is really good. I don't know like how much experience you have on Hillbilly, but the fact that you can hit your back revs is already like a big improvement, because a lot of like new Hillbillies especially can't even do that. All right, then Steve picks up the David. You're gonna chase him over here. Gonna drop that pallet. That pallet sucks too. I'm glad you didn't break it. If anyone like breaks that pallet right away, please don't ever do that. That pallet sucks. It's like awful pallet. He makes this one, but you just break it, which is fine. He's kind of like, he's got a jungle gym now too. There's still just so much stuff around the map. There's still so many pallets. You're trying to bait him into a bad spot, and you do. That was really good. That was really good at taking advantage of his bad position. Are you gonna beat him on the other side? No, you predicted that perfectly. Good job. You literally predicted that perfectly. That ace that you were running around earlier, he just left. He said fuck his teammates and just left, which is interesting. You're gonna hook this guy, and are these guys just gonna leave? Is that how this is gonna play? Are they just gonna go? They're both at the gate. I think they're just bailing. They're just leaving, aren't they? How much longer is in this video? Maybe not. Maybe they'll stay. All right, you're kind of like playing linebacker right now and trying to like catch them going for him. There you go. There you go. This pallet fucking sucks. You can get a chainsaw here for sure. Yeah. Almost. But you can still get it if you body block them. And you are kind of okay. Honestly, you played that exactly the way I would have. It's kind of hard to body block. There you go. Perfect. You played that perfectly. Good shit. That was like literally perfect. You identified that pallet was weak. You did not. You like made sure you stayed greedy and didn't settle with an M1 and made sure you got a chainsaw. You played that pretty much perfectly. You don't need a chainsaw here yet. There you go. You pull it out. Let's scare him a little bit. Get a back rev on him. Nice. If you can go back to that first guy and get a hook on him real quick. Oh, they picked him up fast. He might have unbreakable or something. They picked him up real quick. Ooh, he's gonna make that door, I think. Yeah, he's gonna make that. I mean, you're playing this right now in the end. Like in this end game, you're playing it correctly. Like you're doing everything right now. It's just that it's kind of too late, right? Like you started doing everything right once the game was already over, pretty much, which is kind of a bummer. You're gonna come back and that guy just left too. Oh, they're trying to give him hatch. No hatch for that guy. Fuck on you, David. I don't think so. Well, you got one kill, and that was the whole game. Okay, so let me just talk about this. So there's a couple things. Again, we talked about your build and how there's no regression perks. So it basically relies on you playing like really, really well, right? Like you can't like the 100% the reason why you lost this is because of how long it took you to like catch people and like your indecisiveness. Like with a build like this, you need like downs all the time. You need to be getting downs a lot. And like you almost had it. Like you were playing well. I'll be honest. You were playing really well. You started out with 2 downs like right off the bat. Like with how this end game or how this beginning game went, I thought this game was over, dude. You got 2 downs. You hooked one. You got back to the other guy. Even like right here, if you wanted to, like without even hooking this guy, you could have been looking for his teammates. And this is another reason why I said that you should have went for the another reason why I think you should have went for the other guy first is like this guy is fully recovered, right? So you can't even really do anything other than pick him up right now. Like if you walk away at all, there's a chance that he gets picked up and then you lose all your map pressure. So if you would have like hooked this guy and left the other guy on the ground, you would have had like maybe like a 10-second buffer where you can like look around for his teammates before you pick them up because he has to recover. You know what I mean? So you like picking up the other guy kind of fucked you over a little bit here because you couldn't really like, you didn't really have time to look around a lot. You kind of had to immediately go over and hook this dude, which kind of like lost you some maybe potential map pressure. But even after all this, like when you hook this guy, like it just kind of falls apart. Like this David, you should have been able to get this David down pretty quickly. Like had you got this David down pretty quickly, this game would have been way different. But like you go for like a really weird moonwalk there. Again, like your moonwalk positions are really weird. Like it's something that you need to work on, I think. And then like even here, like this chainsaw is weird. Like you go for this weird chainsaw and then you kind of like lose track of where you went. And then you like completely bail from the chase. Like the thing about map pressure is when you start to get map pressure, like in this early game, you have a lot of map pressure, right? Like you have 2 downs right now. Like that's a ton of map pressure. When you have map pressure, that's the very most important part of the game. That's what makes or breaks your game, how you use that map pressure. If you play really well and you continue to snowball the map pressure, then you can literally win the game in like 2 seconds. But if you like fuck around and like, you know, go for like, you know, weird things and like, you know, bail from chases and stuff, like all the stuff you did right here was honestly like the biggest throw of this game. Like you like bailing from this chase randomly and like going for this guy, but then like you even like see this guy and instead of like chasing him, you like go over here. Like I don't really know like what you're doing here, but like the whole time that you were doing all this, they just like unhooked each other and healed each other up. So all that map pressure you had from the early game is now just gone. Like you had a big ass snowball going. All you had to do was push it down the hill, and instead you kind of just like, I don't know, you just let it sit until summer came and then it melted it, you know? And now it's a melted snowball. And then on top of that, like you still did play pretty well like later on. Like you got it down and then you like slugged and you went for this guy. But again, like your chases just weren't great. Like I will admit this map is hard. Like this map has a lot of strong tiles in it and it's fucking hard to play. You know, like these are very strong tiles, but still, like you definitely could have played these better. Well, you actually get to down there. This was actually really good. You played it really well here. You hooked that guy, and then the first guy. There was like, I think it was the second time you chase him. It was like the second time you chase him. You like down a guy here, I think, right? You like down the Steve. Which, by the way, again, great job on your great job on your chainsaws. You land your chainsaws. Right here, again, is the exact situation. Here it is again. You have a guy on a hook and a guy down, right? You have a ton of map pressure. And on top of that, you have a third survivor that you're actively chasing. Like right here it is again. This is like a make or break moment right now. You know what I mean? Like you have so much pressure. There's a dude on a hook. There's a dude on the ground. There's a guy right here. You're a hillbilly with a 1-shot down. If you can down this guy quickly, it's fucking... And again, right here, like you make a mistake. Like had you pulled out had you pulled out your chainsaw a little bit sooner, or honestly, like even if you just like stayed where the pallet was, like if you would have just stayed here and like took your time with it and really made sure that like you held the pallet position, because like you just holding W at him gives him like the opportunity to make it to the pallet. The goal of like playing pallets like this should be get a hit no matter what. Don't let them get to the pallet. Get a hit. You know, getting a hit is like the most important thing, or a chainsaw. So the fact that like you're playing a pallet, it's totally playable here. Like whether you would have backed into the pallet and like made him loot more and went for more mind games, or whether you would have you know, tried to meet him at the other side, or honestly, even if you just wouldn't have broken the pallet, if you would have just put your chainsaw away and then like looped around it until you got it down, downing this David would have made this game. Like that would have been game over, honestly. I mean, this also kind of hurts here that you went for this dude and you missed him. He like did a weird little juke and you missed him. Like right here, I don't think it would have been a crazy play to go back and hook the first guy. Like the first guy is like recovered. Like he's like 99% recovered. So going back and hooking him might not have been a bad play. But this is just where it all goes downhill. Like right here is where it all goes downhill. Again, you have a ton of map pressure. All you need to do is get it down. But you know, this dude ends up chasing you around a long time. You you had an opportunity here with the David. You had an opportunity here with the ace. Like not right here. Like that was just really unfortunate. But like right here at this pallet, you had an opportunity to get it down on him, but you don't. And then even right here at the tractor, you have an opportunity to get it down. Like you have like 3 different opportunities to get a down here, and you mess up all 3 of them. Which again, like you're gonna mess up, and I'm not gonna give you shit for like messing up every single time, but at the same time, it's kind of like I said, like during those like high octane situations, like during those situations where you have a ton of map pressure, keeping up that map pressure is a really big fucking deal. Like it'll make or break your game, you know? Like had you gotten one of those downs, this game would have been way different. And then on top of that, you like lose them, which is also a bad thing. You like lose track of them, which is also bad. So now you have to like give up and hook this guy. So now all your map pressure is gone. Like all that map pressure you had is now, it's not all gone. Like you still have 1 hook, but you almost had like a shit ton of map pressure, and now you only have a little bit. You know what I mean? And then again, like the same thing happens over here. This whole chase, like you made quite a few mistakes with like your moonwalks and stuff. Like you definitely could have played a lot of these chases better and gotten these downs faster. That's basically it. It just took you way too long to catch these guys. Like this ace ran you around for way too long, which I don't really blame you for, because this is like a really strong map. Like you had to have played it, like you would have had to have played it like pretty much perfectly. But again, you could have played better. It's really important to keep that in mind. You definitely could have played better. There's definitely a lot of situations where you had an opportunity to mind game and get a hit, and instead you didn't. And then you ended up getting chased for longer and longer and longer. And then more and more gens got done. And then, you know, the game is over. So that's the big thing I would work on. I would work on like to the person who submitted this, I would work on your mind games and stuff. I think a big thing as far as like mind games go is keep in mind, like kind of like what I said earlier, a really important thing to know with mind games is like you got to think about it from like the survivor's point of view, right? Like again, I'm going to use this one as an example again, with him being here, you know, and going that way, and he's like looking this way, right? Like if you don't already play Survivor, I would highly recommend playing Survivor. Any killer player that's watching this, if you're not good at Survivor yet, learn Survivor. Learning Survivor will make you a better killer, because knowing how survivors play will give you a better chance to play against them, right? Like again, like he's going this way, right? So like if you hide your red light here, he'll get scared and want to come back. But because you don't hide your red light, he just keeps going, right? He keeps going. So like the whole time that you're walking up here, he's still running. And like by the time you moonwalk, he's just gone. Like he's either going to make it to the pallet or he's going to be gone. Like you maybe could have got like a hit, maybe, but it's just like that one mixed with the one you did earlier on like the single pallet. I just think you need to work on like the timings of your moonwalks. And then you also like seem to lose track of people a lot, which is, I don't know, kind of unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Yeah, I don't know. It just, in general, your chase game needs a lot of work. If you would have downed the survivors faster, you would have been able to do it. But you are hitting your backgrounds, which is good, and I feel like you definitely will get better if you just take some time. It does say Huntress main turned Billy, so it's gonna take some time to get used to like not throwing hatchets at people and actually having to like melee them, you know. So it's gonna take a little bit getting used to, but I think you're on the right track. I would just work on different mind games and definitely like try to make sure. I think the biggest thing with any killer, but like specifically Billy, is making sure you take advantage of every situation where you can get a hit. Like you did a really good job of it, like in like the late game and stuff. Like for instance, this pallet, like how you like refused to break this pallet and instead used it to get hits was really good. Like that was really smart. You need to do that more. Like there's other situations throughout this game that you could have done that with, like the little like hay bale pallets, with like the pallet where you were hooking everyone at earlier. There was a lot of situations where you could have like forced hits, but instead you like played it badly, and I think you need to get better at that. And that's really it. I think I'm rambling now, so I'm sorry. I think I'm just gonna end this video. I've just been rambling this whole time about the same shit, I'm pretty sure. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for submitting. I appreciate you guys hanging out, watching. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, remember to give it a like, because it's the easiest way to support, and sub to the channel as well if you like, because you know, I'm gonna be putting out more content. And thank you so much again for submitting. I really do appreciate it. That's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. I'm out of here. See ya. Take care. See ya. I'm out of here. See ya. I'll see you later. See ya. I'm out of here. See ya.